person that has seen me grow up and has been a part of our fight for so long. And I think in this fight, you know, there's such a division between an Apache and a non-native. And Jeffrey, being a part of our family, breaks those barriers, breaks those cycles. It shatters that glass that says, you and I are just a human being, and we can be a human being and fight for this earth together. And this is what Anne has taught me, and she's been a big part of our family. So Anne, Jeffrey, if you can come up and say a few words.
Mullen said, I was born and raised in Superior. My father moved there in 1944, and he worked in the mine. He worked in the smelter as a machinist, and he ended up dying of brain cancer from breathing all the fumes there. But being born and raised there, this is my land. Even though I'm white, I consider this as my land. I'll try to get through this without crying, but it just touches me so much. And I'm so grateful for all of you people standing with me as a white person. That's beautiful. It's awesome. I wrote a statement to go along with the Apache Stronghold statement, and they turned it down because I'm white. And those are the same type of people that named our holy canyon, Devil's Canyon, right over there. They're the same kind of people. And it's not right, it's not fair. How dare they tell me where I can pray and what I respect and how I can live. It's not right. And this is where we have to stand together as white people to let them know that, yeah, this means something to us too. They say just because we read the Bible. Yeah, I've read the Bible all my life. My father was a minister. And in the very beginning, it talks about creation and the earth and how we are supposed to take care of it. Okay, so hello, isn't that what we're trying to do here? But evil finds its way in so many, any kind of avenue evil can make. They twist religions, they twist people, they twist cultures. The evil twists it to its own good, which is a demise to humanity. And being a human being, yes, I am a part of this earth, and I am indigenous because I am human. And I pray every day that this place is protected and this place is saved. I've had my own spiritual connections and experiences and dreams about this place that I never really knew what it was about until it became in danger, and all those experiences were validated. When I learned about the connection with the Apache people and the way their connection is with the earth and this land, it's the same way that I feel when I saw my first crown dance, it just, the sunrise dance, it touched me so deeply, and it woke up so much inside me that even correlates with Christianity, because it's all the same. It's all one God. We're all one people, one drum. We're all on one earth, one circle earth. And it's hard for me to stand up here and talk about it. But here I am. I'm doing it. And I'd like to just end what I say with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Creator, you see these people among us here, and we are standing for your creation. Give us all strength, because it's all up to us, our own spirituality and connection with Mother Earth. Give us everything that we need, the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to stand up to those that want to destroy our home. And I ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, and next I'm going to call up Patricia Stantol from the Eastern Band of Cherokee.
I get shy, so I'm going to read. To my Cherokee brothers and sisters, Oseo, Galule, no, Vizigi, oh. To the rest of you, blessings from grandfather, grandmother, Earth Mother. Be whole and love one another. In my way, one introduces herself by starting with her grandparents. My maternal grandparents are Sami, Indigenous peoples from Norway, the Seversons. My paternal grandparents are from Qualla territory, the Clarks. My mother is first-generation Norwegian American from Minnesota. My father is Eastern Band Cherokee Wolf Clan. He was stolen from his biological family and taken to boarding school, and he survived to serve what we call America in the United States Air Force. I am proud to be Eastern Band Cherokee. We ran away during the Trail of Tears back to our old land, the Appalachia. And when we created our Constitution, as opposed to Cherokee Nation, we said we will not participate in slavery. That is important to me. When I woke up this morning and saw the news of genocide, I remembered about the genocide, which was the first American sin. The archaeologists tell us that my people have been on Turtle Island for at least 37,000 years. My people have prayed to a one God for at least 37,000 years. Although I am an ordained priest with the United Church of Christ, those are newcomers. 2,000 years, drop in the bucket. And yes, they pray to one God. And so I am going to do a teaching in a prayer. Shema, Mother Earth, we greet you this morning with gratitude for providing all we need for life. We embrace this land loved and tended by the San Carlos Apache, which we claim as sacred. We bless the flowing water and the wind for sustaining us. We cry out with the plant people, the one-legged, the four-legged, upon this holy land, to join us in song for protection from greed, capitalism, white supremacy. We fear the silence of the rattlesnake and pray for the courage to stand honorably with all relations, that the 7 generations that follow may know life. Hear us. We need your strength and wisdom. Let us walk in beauty and make our eyes ever behold the red and purple sun. Make our hands respect the things you have made and our ears sharp to hear your voice. Make us wise so that we may understand the things you have taught our people. May I be an honorable, two-spirited Dodonowitsky, a traditional native healer, and stand tall. We are still here. Aho.
Thank you for those powerful words. Next, we're going to have Larry Foster from the Diné Nation.
Good morning. I'm going to have my wife come and stand beside me so you can excuse us. Taking a little bit of time here. Like they say, time waits for nobody. And that's what Creator God said at one time in that book of Revelation. So I want to say a few words here today as we came from the homeland of the Netcha. The government calls us the Navajos, Navajo tribe of Indians. And our tribal government calls us the Navajo Nation. But I come from Chushkai band of the Navajos. Chushkai is to represent the tree, the fir trees. Just like we have here, Chechil, Se, rock tree, Chechil. That's how they say it. Uko eya, ashik so eya shan kidideshni. The neno sini adon. Uko sinige ekiya anid nenshen. Ado zikane bashishen. Ado yat happa da sheda da. Ado eya kinchichi da shanale. Shesa eya. Come from a place always told from the townhouse about people clan. there was a time and a place for them at one time. Those are my mothers, my aunt, my grandmothers. They all went to Fort Sumner. All these grandmothers, they went to jail, concentration camp. When the United States Cavalry came, the Navajo Wars last for a long, long time, almost 100 years. And then my father, the Mountain Cove People Clan, those were the warriors of where that mountain in New Mexico, the male mountain, Chushkai. They protected that mountain. The expansion of first the conquistadors, and then the Mexican army came, and then the militia of New Mexico, and then finally the United States Cavalry. So they fought that in that homeland back then. So my blood, my DNA comes from that line of people. And then the other one is the water age people, all the relatives that live near the ocean. And then the other one is Kintlachini. I was told that during the Navajo Wars, the Indian War, that the Navajo and other tribes, the Pueblos, the Apaches, the Comanches, they all were in one area at one time. So there was a lot of intermarriages, and there was a lot of slave trading. So my paternal grandfather come from the Pueblos, the Tiwas. So that I'm a product of that. And my wife here is Patani. Her grandfather was Chief Manuelito Chelhajene. He was at the war. They had a peace tree, a peace chief, and a warrior chief. And she comes from the war chiefs. That's where she comes from, Manlito. He's the one that fought for the Navajos during between 1840, 50s, and the 60s. They capture him. That's her grandfather. And they said he had 13 wives. So all the Manlitos, Manuelito, all of them, they're all relatives. From southern tip of Utah, in the northwest region of New Mexico, all the way down to the southern part, central, east New Mexico. So that's how we were at one time. We had to defend our homeland. The expansion of manifest destiny, technology, our wars with the Utes, our relatives, they turned on us. They got their weapons from the Mormons, repeating rifles. So we had our medicine people get the herbs, just like here, all the herbs that grow here, such the trees, those are medicine that's used. You can witness that in front of you here, the wood that's used here, and the smell, the odor, how you use that. What we're doing, putting tobacco, grows around. Sometimes the tobaccos are really small. They grow little patches up the hills. bring them back, harvest them, and use that for prayers. But today we'll have to use that spirit tobacco that's commercialized and put in the fire. So that's how it's done, my relatives, Chicano Shini. So I want to introduce that way, and then I want to say a small prayer. Some of you never have heard Navajo before. Now's the time to hear. Our language has been around the world 4 times in prayer, in song. Our language has been incarcerated. We use that language to get out of Fort Sumner. And the language is also used in Catholic Church today. How they discovered that is the Franciscan fathers learned Navajo by writing, and then they repeat it by looking at their vowels and sentence structure. So they learn how to read it and talk it. Aujourd'hui, Nasa, aujourd'hui, quand de Johana e, aujourd'hui quand ajini quand, aujourd'hui quand qui a pecado quoi holdes, quoi yol kat, quoi ya turizm bahaz ah. Ado ya quand, asing so e sa de hokat turizm. Ado ya sen. How a ko e ya ko de ke a pecado bizi hallo. Such a had it at the corner ea bito, yield in their course, she had all that, but when so ea sad, Lily daughter and Lily be young jihadis, hot asha the auto auto nahas, corner that again, corner ea yat or a she cased all that corner. I seen that ea not chindan long, huh? But so does that it's hold a nahaga koto. Corn ea kinalta. Nalchin wait on long corner, you can't on long. Corn the ea content clipper. Holiday ye had it but the ea tail that just content clip can't now the corn that has in so. The ea a sundol let even ye. Aujourd'hui, corner. But I am a jihadist, corner. So that comfort zone of corporations, manifest destiny, technology, taking land, making all these commissioners. They're in that comfort zone. Today, the comfort zone, what we see up here, I dreamed about it. At one time, I carried a tsa, the eagle feather. I walked with it from the agency through the town here. 2 or 3 communities, and up to here. And I was told that you're going to see something, smell something, feel something with that eagle, that bird. When you listen to bird talk at night in my dream, I seen that company. They hire Apache. They hire Navajo. So I came standing on the rock watching them. They seen me, they came after me. So that eagle came, that bird picked me up and lifted me up. And I saw who they are. So that power of the bird, what we have here, it lives with us. The bird of all that carries the prayers to heaven, right next to God, not right next to Christ. That's what the bird said. And comes back. So as we live today, our lives here, that we have to protect our generation, protect our women, to protect our elderly people, because the manifest destiny has brought diseases. They call that diabetes. They call it cancer. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the food, the trauma, what we have to go through every day. Oh, I want to eat some Spam. They said that's no good. But there's countries like Australia that love Spam. And there's that same country that they're going to take these copper, they're going to take it over there and make it technology. And they're going to make it a war machine somehow in there. So that minerals here that belongs to the earth that's going to be extracted. And the poison, the toxins that come out of fracking, it's going to go into the ground, and people that live all the way down to the border of Mexico and Tucson, Nogales, Phoenix, maybe as far as Flagstaff, the water underneath can get contaminated. So we have to be aware of all of this. Water of life, our vegetation, our herbs, our animals, our birds. Where are they going to go? So those are just some of the discussion that I want to present here. And I come from that time period where in 1972 we went on a caravan across America. They call that the Trail of Broken Treaties. Talk about treaty rights to Nixon's administration. And the federal government, where they come from to talk about BIA lines, IHS, county, state, federal. Those all have lines that have cattle guards on there. We talk about treaty here too. We have a treaty, the Navajo treaty. Talk about resource, annuities, water rights. Right now there's in the circuit courts with the Navajo people, the water right discussions. The first round, that our government wasn't prepared. You got that new U.S. Supreme Court document of discovery people. You overruled the Navajo people with that water right. And they were trying to base their discussion on treaty. Oh, we didn't see water rights in your treaty. The Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh, that new sex offender, he's the one that wrote that opinion. So now we have to regroup and go back. And then at the same time, the Navajo people are talking about buying some of the land back, the sacred sites. Because the American Indian Religious Freedom Act is only policy. There's only a clause right now that people can come in and claim our ceremonies. They can sell that. Now, how are you going to sell that sun? What they're trying to do is take shortcuts by doing technology and using solar. So that's what they're doing. Technology with all the minerals that are extracted. Now they're trying to get helium out the ground by doing fracking. So those are some of the fights that we're trying to challenge in court. We know that court is the only route now. So in closing, I could discuss a little bit more. However, there's other speakers here, and I want to close with a song here. That we do have, where we come from, we belong to the Native American Church. Is the usage of peyote, the peyote rights. Today we're fighting with the changes of the amendments of 1974 to make it, to decolonize the peyote usage in California, Oregon, Washington, Connecticut, New York. So those are what's going on. And I want to thank, in closing, I want to thank all the people from the doorway all the way around. Thank all of you. All the pastors, the ministers, and the head people with the churches. Because you do have a fight also. The International Religious Freedom Act that was signed in this 25th year, I believe, that they're talking about to make religion lawful, not a crime. So I want to thank all of you that way. So we're going to sing a song here. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. We yo no hey day. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. Hey yo no hey day yo. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. We yo no hey day. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. Hey yo no hey day yo. We yo no hey day. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. We yo no hey day yo. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. Hey yo no hey day. Yo no ho. Yo no ho. Hey yo no hey day yo. Saya tahu les kon le kota hasti tahu le. Setne dan nasinigi. Kopaz na aj. Na yes na isgana. Shikaya ja saya la. Kon le kota hasti tahu le. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, Larry. Thank you. Next, we're going to have Doc Mata come up and say a few words.
Dzień dobry, kochani. Dobrodzieje, dobrodziejki. I didn't wear my shoes because I want to feel connected to my mom, my Mother Earth. And I'm very, very thankful to be here. I feel huge gratitude to be here on this sacred land with all of you. Especially thank you, Wensler, for inviting me and bringing our energy into here, because we waited for this. Our people in Europe, the original people of Europe, were fighting for thousands of years, and we understand this. We understand your fight. We understand the earth, because it's our mother. She nurtures us, and she is part of us. We are made out of minerals. We're made out of water. We are made out of our mother. So how can we separate? It's impossible. It's just impossible. And as long as we feel it in our hearts, and we can unite, all of us, no matter of religion, color, no matter of where we came from, this is our mom. This is our mother. We are the children. And we won't have any food if our mother is gone, if our sacred places are gone, if our water is bad. We won't survive. This is the bottom line. I think this is where we need to unite. And look at how much they try to difference us, how much they try to separate us into everything. Because you're this, because you're that, because you're different, because you're that. It doesn't really matter who we are from the outer perspective. It matters what's in our heart. That's it. And it's very, very simple when we think about it, because even Jesus was preaching that. He said, think with your heart. And if you're not at fault, then who's throwing the rocks? How are we going to throw a rock? We are at fault too. We have darkness in ourselves. We have to work with our darkness and our little things that are speaking in our mind. The devil, the little things that are coming from the darkness, that trying to separate us from the Creator, from God, from Mother Earth. But we do already have that. Let's cherish it. My friend told me a story. She went to Greece, and she said some people were talking about what they have, their houses, their cars, and the other people said, oh, I have so many trees in my orchard. I have so many beautiful trees, and they smell so good, and they are so full of fruits. And that was a conversation later. How many fruits do we have? How many beautiful trees we have? Not for the eye, but for our spirit, for connecting with our mother. Just as children of God, of our Creator. Because we are all made from source, from love, from light. And I think it's time that we unite and we see all of that light in us and within us. Look at each other. How much light we have. How much beauty. Simple, beautiful creators, God's beauty. Just in love. Alone, love can change everything. There's a saying that love can change and move mountains. And that's true. And this is the proof. And I believe something that was done here by Dr. Wensler, this is one of those proofs. That love, light, the Creator's love, the God's love can change everything and can move mountains, literally. Where do we look for the proof? If not within ourselves. So I can tell you all about my history. My dad was a medicine man in Poland. He was taking care of the sacred places. He worked among Christian people, all kinds of people. We were all working towards one goal, to keep the places safe. Because we're all for it. This is all for us, for our future generations. This is all for our children, for the 7 generations. We do believe that we need to do that job. My grandma was taken into concentration camp when she was just a 12-year-old girl in front of her house. And people asked me, was she Jewish? I said, no, she wasn't. She was Slavic, like all of us. People didn't care who you were. They were just kidnapping people. My grandma was in a place where they tried to Germanize her. They tried to tell her that she can't be Polish, Slavic, she can't speak Polish, she can't speak our old language. And she ran away. She was so brave, she ran away. And she decided she's not gonna do that. She was risking her life. Then they captured her. They put her in one concentration camp. Then the second one. And she broke her back. That's how hard it was. She barely made it back. After the Americans actually came and freed the concentration camps, which it comes in a circle, right? Here I am. So we can look at each other and she can say, oh, the Germans are bad, the Jewish are bad, that doesn't work. We need to stand up and realize we're human beings. And we have the light and we have the love. No matter how, we have to rise together. And we have to come here for our mother, for Mother Earth. She needs us. She really needs us. Right now. Find it in your heart. Find it within you. Speak to your mom. Speak to your mother. She always listens. And respect. Respect. This was given to us. We need to respect it for our future generations. And we need to fight for her, just like you will fight for your mom. Right? We will all fight for our mom. It's our mom. You can't say that about her. You cannot say this. Oak Flat. What is Oak Flat, right? It's our mom. If I am in Poland, I am in Greece, I'm in Germany, I'm in Chichibigotil. It is all one Mother Earth. No matter where we stand, we have the ground underneath our feet. If you feel disconnected, take off your shoes. Walk, feel your mother. Give thanks. You will be right back. You will be right back in that mentality, connected with your heart. And know that, yes, there is unity. And that's all we need to know. That's all really we need to know. We don't have to get into the who is fighting with who. Where is it? Who is creating all of this? We need to look within our hearts and connect. If all of us does this, we are connected with Mother Earth. And nothing can break us. Between countries, between religions, between the way of thinking, the way we look, doesn't matter. It's love. It's light. That's how God created us. In that. How beautiful is that? There's no higher power than that. So I want to thank you for letting me speak. And I would like to sing a short Asian song, our Slavic Asian song, that, as you know, our language is very old. Our runas are many, many thousands of years. And the language, actually English language, came from our language too. But this, now they call them mantras, because you sing them over and over and over again. It's a connection. It's a connection to the spirit. It's a connection to love within you. It's a connection to your light, to Mother Earth. It's a vibration of harmony within us and in between us, all of us, because we are one. Either way we look at it, we are one. The blood is going to mix with Mother Earth. We're going to come back to Mother Earth. We come from Mother Earth and we come back. Taro koro charo doro yarga drago veser. 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 Dziękuję, zdrawiam wszystkich. Dziękuję wam, kochani. Dokonało się, dokonało się, dokonało się.
Thank you so much for that beautiful song. Up next, we're going to have John Mendez come up and say a few words.
First of all, to my brother, Dr. Winslow, and his family, to all of the leaders of the Apache Nation, and to CBC, and the peace group that's responsible for helping me to make it again one more time through that huge gate through the mountains that Winslow refers to that leads into Apache country. I've been coming through that gate now for more than 30 years. And the very first time that I came into Apache country, I was with the National Council of Churches and the World Council of Churches, and they had just begun to get involved in Indian affairs and issues. The very first time I came, I made the statement that your struggle is my struggle, and your fight is my fight. I did not realize at the time
that the one God, Spirit, would make sure that I live up to those words. At that time, we were on Mount Graham, and that mountain touched me. And I was never the same again. If I'm not certain about anything else in my life, the one thing that I am certain about is that God wanted me involved in this particular struggle. And that was more than 30 years ago. I had not planned to come back. We had a mutual friend from the Lakotas, Sammy Tornita, who called me and said, some of the old ones want to talk to you, want you to come back. I said I was not coming. Then after that, every morning, a wolf appeared in my dreams and would wake me up. And then she called me back and she said, what are you going to do? And I told her, well, I asked her at first whether or not she put a whammy on me. Then I told her about my dream. She explained certain things to me. I dropped everything I was doing. I came back. And the rest is history. But many of the old ones, Winslow's stepfather, Tony, who I think about often, a medicine person, Winslow's mother, and many others started teaching me about the four ways and the way of life as they shared their history. I internalized all of that because I knew then that was also a part of my life. Many of you have come from many different places, and I know some of you probably are saying we're coming to support the Apache struggle. That's not what it's all about. You didn't come to support the Apache struggle. You came to learn about your own struggle, which is connected to the Apache struggle. Because many of you think you don't have a struggle, that you're not having that you don't have a fight. But I think after today, it's going to be really clear that we all in this struggle together. I've been involved as an activist back in the days of Dr. Martin Luther King. The last week of his life, we were all together on that Sunday. And it seemed like many of his associates had come together for that one event. He was about 2 hours late getting there, but we all waited. We had no idea that was on Sunday, and by Thursday, he would be assassinated. But the one thing that, many things, but among the many things that Dr. King taught us, that if you don't have anything, a cause, a struggle, a movement that you're willing to die for, then you're not fit to live. This struggle is about saving the earth. And I'm not going to be redundant because I think that has been explained and cleared to us through so many of the indigenous voices that we heard today. But I would like to share this because this helps to unite us. A psychiatrist by the name of Jonathan Shea coined a term called moral injury. And moral injury is associated with being betrayed, either by an individual, a government, or some big authority that makes you promises but breaks every promise. So at the core of moral injury is betrayal. Many times that we went to Washington, D.C. and met with different congressmen, you could not help but always leave feeling betrayed, lied to, manipulated, and ultimately used. That comes with the territory of colonization. It just does not dominate the land. It just does not exploit labor. But what it also dominates is your mind, your thinking. It seeks to control you, and this is the nature of oppression. It turns you against yourself and makes you participate in your own oppression. That's what colonization is designed to do, to take away your culture, take away your way of life, and impose a foreign way of life on you that works against you and keeps you oppressed. So that the only way that we are acceptable to corporate domination is that you gotta be submissive, subjective, and subordinate. Then you are accepted. But when you stand up for justice, you are considered unjust, as if there's something wrong with you when you fight for justice. Well, I accepted it a long time ago. I was going to be unjust. I was going to be considered bad and learn to live with being a nonconformist. Because when you fight from below, not from the top, because, like I said, that turned out to be a bunch of myths and lies and falsehoods and all of that. Our struggle is from below. And if fundamental change is going to come, it's got to come from below. So those of us who are here today, I've been in this struggle since I was 16 years old. I've gotten old in the struggle. Can't do what I used to do. But his mother taught me that until your dying breath, you will always find a way to struggle. And we will. But let me say, the struggle is relentless. And what I mean by that, if you're here for a quick fix, or to put it this way, if you're here for a quickie, this is not where it's going to happen. The struggle is relentless. Our children will pick up the struggle. And probably their children will pick up the struggle. It's relentless. We cannot think in terms of quick fix. Our people have been struggling for over 400 years in this country. Native people from day one, been struggling for liberation. And we're going to continue to struggle for that liberation. And as I said, it's not so much about, yes, it is about freeing the land, getting rid of this domination. But we first got to free our minds. And I put it this way, is justice enough? Justice must be associated with clearing our minds. Free your minds, as we say in the East, and your rest will follow. Why is that important? We got freedom, but we also got Clarence Thomas and many others that have sold out and identify with the aggressor, oppressor. That certainly doesn't help the cause. We need minds that are free. Nelson Mandela, and by the way, Dr. Nosey, I got on my Mandela shirt today that I chose to wear for this occasion. But Mandela told us, reminded us that yes, South Africa has achieved a certain amount of freedom, but you're still not free. You are free to continue to fight for your freedom. That lives with me. We're free, we're struggling to be free, but our freedom has only allowed us certain opportunities to continue the struggle to be free. So that struggle is not over. We are here. We represent many different religions, cultures, but there's only one spirit that unites us together. And I get this all the time from my Christian brothers and sisters. Why are you with the Apaches? Why are you with this religion? Why are you fighting with the Jews? Why do you fight with the Palestinians? Why do you fight with all these different cultures? Because there's one spirit. James Cone, Kane Oakfelder, Jackie Grant, and many others back during the time that gave us liberation theology and black theology and native theology, etc., helped us to see there is one spirit that unites us all together. So I feel a sense of oneness when I think about my experiences, how this mountain touched me. I didn't read it in a book. It was real, and I learned a lot since that initial religious experience. And what it helped me to understand, and I really want us to really get this, if we're serious about the oneness of the Spirit, that your religious experiences are just as authentic as my religious experience. Amen. So there's no big I or little you, but all of our religious experiences are authentic, and we have to respect it, and it's important that we share in it together. Lastly, let me say, it is important that we be who we are and know whose we are. Let me share another story, not the eagle one this time. There was a lion who did not know who he was. He was raised to be a sheep, and he lived among the sheep. And one day, a real lion who was clear that he was a lion saw the other lion acting like a sheep. So he went to that other lion, and the other sheep scattered and left him by himself. He got scared of the other lion. The other lion did not seek to harm him, but rather took him to a river and made him stare into the river. When he looked into the river, he saw that he looked like the other lion and not the sheep. And finally, he realized who he was as a lion. And like the other lion, for the first time in his life, he began to roar. And I say to you today, you are lions, not sheep, not inferior, not second class, not subordinate, not submissive, and not subjective to any ruthless, racist, homophobic, xenophobic power. You are lions. So what is your mission today? Roar. You gotta roar against these colonial powers. Roar until justice runs down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Roar until every valley is exalted, every mountain and hill is made low, and the crooked places are made straight. Roar until the glory of the Lord is revealed and all flesh shall see it together. So when we leave here today, we're going to enjoy with the Apache people and roar until this land is free and there's no longer domination over anyone. And that roar will be relentless. Thank you very much.
Yeah, John, it's always so good to see you and listen to your words. It always touch our hearts, our spirits. So yeah, for always standing with us, holding arm in arm in this fight. Next, I'd like to bring up Amy Wan from Tohono O'odham. She's a good friend, a sister, and someone that has stood with us along in this fight. So, Amy.
Good morning.
I feel like I just want to cry now. Yeah. thank you, Mr. Mendez, for your words. Anya Chigik, Amy Wan, Jakumaya Amjit, Shikta Chikshin, Donald the Nation, Nisha Ichin Alka, Chichigik, Ramoga Miguel, John Sylvester Wan, and Yagak and Yawaska, Chichigik, Mary Melissa Miles, but Daniel Wan, but, and Yahuchin Yababa, Chichigik, Mary Elizabeth Miguel, but Lawrence Miguel, but, and Yawamagam, Yawamagam, and Autumn Chugik, Thon McDonald. So good morning, everybody. Just introducing myself, my parents, my grandparents, my clan, and my Autumn name. My Autumn name is Thon McDonald. It means Milky Way light. It was a name that was given to me by my maternal grandmother when I was about 18. And I'm still continuing to learn what that name means and why she gave it to me. I was really, I took a drive up this morning. If you're not familiar with the Thon Nation, we're maybe about 2 hours south from here. We share the border with Mexico. Our lands extend into Mexico, and my family comes from that area as well. And I'm really honored to be here today. Really feel happy and feel good to be here today. And I thank Wensler and the family and the community for inviting me and asking me to be here. I've been looking forward to it all week. And on the drive up, I was thinking about what I was going to share. And I really came to share songs. Singing our songs, singing about the mountains and the elements and the animals and creation and even the struggles. We have songs about our struggles as well. Sharing all of those to touch our hearts. Our sister earlier talked about the harmony, and I think a lot of times as humans, when we're talking, sometimes it's easy to not listen, to not be heard. But with songs they're a little different. We can feel them. So I am going to share some songs, but when I was sitting here listening, I thought about the moment when I became a lion. And I grew up on the res, went to BIA schools up until high school, very small schools in the middle of nowhere, basically. And I had big dreams as a little girl, and I never thought that they would come true. But this is why I know that Creator has a path laid out for us. And I was always told that, the prayers of my grandmothers and my mom, she would always tell me how much she prayed for me when she was pregnant and when she was getting ready to have me. And it's just a powerful thing to see those prayers come true throughout my life. And I was thinking about the first time I came here to Oak Flat to visit with Wensler and the family. I shared with him my experience about going to Palestine, going to the Holy Lands in 2017. And it was my first ever trip, very, very far overseas. And I thought, man, my first trip across the world is going to be to this place. And I didn't really know what to expect. I was raised Catholic, I was baptized Catholic, but I was also raised with my hymn with my culture. And I remember being about 11 and 12, and I told my grandma that I didn't want to go to church anymore. And she was pretty upset about it. but it was about the time when I was learning songs, I was learning stories, I was singing and dancing, and it made me feel different than when I was sitting in church. And I told my grandma that it made me feel good to be awesome. And as soon as she understood that I just wasn't being difficult or rebellious, but I was making a conscious decision to focus on learning about who I am as autumn, she was very happy about that. And she supported it. And so today, it's made me into a very strong person with a strong heart. And so going to Palestine at the time, you know, I went with autumn eyes, I would say. And, you know, of course, I thought about my upbringing, stories about these places that I was seeing, Bethlehem, Jericho, all these places that we read about in the Bible, and just the things that I saw totally changed my life. Not because I was amazed, but because I saw the truth, is basically what I saw. I saw the truth about this place that I was read about or heard stories about or was, you know, raised to see reverence in. But I also saw, you know, a lot of bad things, and I took all of that in, and I actually had a moment in Jericho where I would say I had an epiphany. And I laugh when I think about it. I'm like, okay, I was at the lowest level, the Dead Sea, to have this experience where my mind was just, you know, opened, and everything that I knew totally changed. And the only comfort that I had at that time was to harvest olives in these olive groves. And it reminded me of being home. And it reminded me of being out with my family picking baivich or saguaro fruit. Just those really family experiences that helped heal my heart at that time. And on the last day that I was there, going to Bethlehem and going to the Church of the Nativity, I was really thinking about my grandmothers and how they would feel knowing that I was there, because they were no longer here with us in physical form. And so I Googled how to do the rosary really quick by myself, and I went into the church and I did a rosary for them, for both of my grandmothers, and I prayed. And I could only describe it as a very real heart-to-heart talk with the man we call Jesus, and to talk to him as a friend, and to tell him that I was sorry. And I told him that I was sorry because I saw what people did in his name. And, you know, I was just a little heartbroken at the time. But at the same time, I asked, you know, to be of service. And I asked that wherever I was needed, that was where I was going to go, and that I was open to it. And now I know that you need to be careful about what you pray for and what you ask for. Because right after I came home from that trip, there was so many doors and so many opportunities that came to me. And I've been able to travel around the world and to see more and to do more and to meet so many beautiful people. And I can only, I know that being here today is part of that prayer. and it's very powerful. Like I said, I could just cry. I didn't come here with the intent to cry. I just stepping into the circle and feeling everything. It's a happy, joyful, powerful cry. And being able to speak to truth and just to share with you all my heart. And not just my heart, but the heart and the spirit of where I come from my people or my community, my elders, my teachers, and everything that makes us who we are. And ever since then, and I guess I had no way to describe it, but after that experience, I've known a freedom that I never felt before that, burns and is very purposeful. And in my work today, I do work with the land. I work on a farm. We grow food. And to me, it's the most meaningful thing that I can do right now is to make sure that our people in the future and our kids know how to survive and to grow food that's going to help us survive, because we don't know what the future looks like. But it's also taught me also important things that, we're looking for big solutions and quick solutions to save the world and save each other. But sometimes those solutions come as a simple seed or a handful of seeds to share with somebody that will help them survive. Something that will continue to grow and continue to thrive. And so with all the beautiful seeds that are being planted today, with all of us together, I can only imagine what's going to come next for all of us. And the ways that we're going to continue to be connected after today. So again, thank you for listening and for being here, and just for your presence. It's very strong. I'm going to share a couple of songs. The first song is it's a cleansing song. It's a blessing song. We all came here with different experiences, ways that we started our day, and it's just meant to help purify, and it helps me, especially with what I feel in my heart right now, is to not walk away with tears, but to walk away with to be happy and to be strong. And it sings about the ocean and praying by the ocean and purifying ourselves that way. The next song that I was singing is also about the ocean, but it's about the flood. When the flood came, the people were scared. They knew that they were going to die. They knew that the world was going to end, that it was going to change. But still they sang and they accepted it because they knew that there was something new that was going to come after that. The next song after that is talking about the light spreading all over the world and the good roads that everybody travels, and how we're all spreading that good light as we continue to go on our own way after this. So just to explain the songs, the stories that they're telling, and I offer these to all of you to take home with you and to leave here at Oak Flat, from my community, from my family, from our people. So let's do that. Sakyamuni taiwo nihima. Kashemo shunhe mone taiwo kowa. Kashemo shunhe mone kanahu jamhuwa kowa. Sariwa wakoe oe kamukana manhu taiwo nihima. Kashemo shunhe mane kanamu jamhuwa kowa. Sariwa wakoe oe kamukana manhu taiwo nihima. Kashemo shunhe mane kanamu jamhuwa kowa. Sariwa wakoe oe kamukana manhu taiwo nihima. Wisdom shutak nyai himakana. Wisdom shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Wisdom tato tato no no. Wanga tamai shutak. Tamai shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Wisdom shutak nyai himakana. Wisdom shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Wisdom tato tato no no. Wanga tamai shutak. Tamai shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Wisdom tato tato no no. Wanga tamai shutak. Tamai shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Wisdom tato tato no no. Wanga tamai shutak. Tamai shutak nyai himakana. Watoto wipino. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Jawai ka siyamuri. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Jawai ka siyamuri. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Jawai ka siyamuri. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Jawai ka siyamuri. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Jawai ka siyamuri. Tapos mama siyama tonori. Thank you. And the last thing that I want to say before leaving the mic is just to ask everyone to continue to pray for the children of the world. in our in our story about the flood, when the water first started to come out of the earth, the people were trying to figure out how to stop it, and they tried everything. They tried to consult all the medicine people, all the people they could think of, even the animals. And it wasn't until the people got asked the question, what is your most precious thing that, what means the most to you? And it was kids. And the people sacrificed two boys and 2 girls to put them into the earth to stop the flood, to stop the water. And that was the only thing that could save us, was our most precious. And so I also think that's, what's in my heart that I haven't fully let out as I've been thinking about our children, our kids, and the future, and just what they're experiencing and what they're going through. But as was mentioned, these struggles are passed on, and so it's important, that we continue to pray for them and to give them the tools to be strong. And I appreciate again so much the words encouraging us to roar, because I know when you start roaring, sometimes it might come out as a purr at first, or a little scratch. But I know that as we continue to find our voices, that roar, becomes pretty powerful in our own ways. And so again, I appreciate those words, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and being together on this very beautiful day. And I look forward to crossing paths with everyone and continuing to fight for all of us, for our humanity, for our children, and for the future. So Sapo, thank you.
Okay, we're coming to a close. I would like to, before I call my dad up, I want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of this beautiful, a beautiful prayer, a beautiful blessing. It's not a moment. We don't want it to be a memory, because like everybody said, we have to continue to move forward, and the fight doesn't stop, not for any one of us. If we as Indigenous people are fighting for our religion and our way of life, as First People here, everybody's religion and way of life is under threat. And if our natural resources continue to be ripped and destroyed, no one has a way to live. No matter what religion, what color, no one will survive. And that fight, like Amy said, is our children. I'm a mother, and that's what keeps me moving, keeps me motivated. And so that my children will have that right to believe in what the blessed gift that Creator has given them. So I want to thank everyone for being here. All those that have your instruments that you sing with, can you please come up and join us? Because we're going to be that one drum, that one prayer, that one circle. So Dad,
Okay, we're not ending, we're just starting. But I guess to sum it up, going back to the hoop, you represent the missing part. As I told you in the very beginning, there was one hoop. And that was all God's creation, God's way of things. I heard one preacher tell me, the Apaches don't have to worry because they know God. We don't know God. And I've never heard that in a church before. And it really touched me. Because what my mother used to say is that we know who Jesus is, but Jesus came for people who don't understand. He came to teach them. So, what we give you today is what is old. How you entered and how you sit with us. As I can say, if it hasn't been done, you're finally welcome to this land. If you never went through this, you hadn't been welcome. My mother says, you got to ask for permission when you go through somebody's house or you go to somebody. If you ask for permission, you're granted and enjoyment is all, everybody's excited. But if you go to somebody's house and you ask for no permission, how do you think those people are going to feel? In Arizona, when the Native people were put as prisoners of war and the Apaches were the last ones, this is when it became a state. When the people were put as prisoners of war. So I sit here, and I know you probably have a different feeling than we do, but I sit there, and I don't know if any of you have an American flag flying, but there's an American flag flying over there. But that always happens when we put something together. And then at night, Resolution Copper will put a real big cross on there. What do you call that? Shack. So when I'm here, they put a big cross on the shack. And then American flags go up. These are reminders to suppress us, to keep us scared. So I sit there, and my mother used to put down her head, afraid of it, because she said, we died because of that. That represents everything that's bad, and people put their loyalty into that. What about God and all the things He created? We misinform our children. We misguide them. In the town of Globe, they celebrate 4th of July, and a huge flag is on top of one of the big tailings. And all the people have their children cooking hot dogs and hamburgers and having the enjoyment of America. Us natives, we sit there and we're like, God, talk about propaganda, talk about misguiding, not teaching their children, and everybody's accepting all these tailings and destroying of water as normal. So these are the things that, we see. But today is a new day. Today is a birth, like I told you, Carol. Today you've been missing. You can do so much. I sit with John Mendez. We talk about all the great things of what African Americans have done, what Native people try to do, and anybody else. But it hasn't happened here yet. We can disagree with our own people and talk to each other like brothers and sisters so that we can get our point across and move forward. That African Americans will do the same thing. But it starts with the truth, and the truth. You have to tell the truth. What's wrong with telling the truth? Then we all raise our children right to do the right things in the world. Like my daughter told you, I'm a former chairman. I had the opportunity, I've been in the tribal government for over 30 years. And I tell my people, I'm the way I am because you made me the chair, you made me councilman. And I read all this stuff, I did all this study. And it's ugly. They're taking and taking and taking. Once they hit this pocket, it gives them the right to all the water. It's going to take every water from San Carlos, it's going to change every aquifer. They won't even care for the people of Globe and Miami who are not natives. It's just so strange to me, but it comes back to that corporation way of life that we're living. So I'm going to ask my grandson to pick up the basket with the leather. Go pick that up. So, Carol, I'm going to ask you to come up. I'm going to have my grandson give this to you. Because you represent, we all represent each other here. But I have to admire Carol for sticking her neck way out there. Way out there. Because I know it comes with criticism. I know they ask her questions, why are you doing this? And I know she has to teach a whole different way. But she's being guided by God. It's the bottom line. So when she takes this basket from my grandson, it's the Indian people putting trust in you all. You're all here for a reason. We didn't bring you here. You brought yourself here. You didn't have to be here. But something called you here. Something ugly is happening in the world. We lost what we should have. So I told Carol late night, one night out here by the fire, I said, Carol, don't do this if your people are not ready. Do not come to this circle if you're not ready. Because when you come to this circle, you're going to fight real evil. And I said it's going to come 10 times harder than what has come to you all. Because now you have to pray for your children and everybody. That's how we are. Because when we know who God is, it comes 2 times, 3 times stronger. Your children have to be protected. You have to be protected. You have to listen. And when you listen, you hear it. Just like what John shared with you. You already have a gift. My mother used to tell me, you don't even have to go to the sunrise ceremony. You don't even have to go to the church. Because God already gave it to you in here. It's when you let it go. When you don't take care of it. Because you already know when it's right or when it's wrong. Always remember that, son. Because when you die, a preacher or a medicine man is not going to be standing beside you and saying to God, I sang the wrong song or I preached the wrong words. I'm sorry. No, it's you. It's you. And if you want anything at the end, it's the end of your time when God will bless you for the things that you have done for what He has created. So today, we're excited on this side. And some of you who already are like us, so you already got a head start. But some of you that may need those guidance, these are the guiding tools for you. So with that, my grandson will give you this basket, but know that it's a bond of trust. Because remember, the political world is destroying this earth. The corporate world is destroying this earth. I go to John Mendez through the Poor People's Campaign, and I can't believe all these candidates that go to church people. All these candidates you don't see in the news are sitting with all religious people for support. You guys have control over them if you use it. You can write letters, you can speak with them, saying, no, this is not going to happen. You can begin the first teaching of this country to do what is right and not to violate the laws that are there for all of us. You have that ability to do that. Now, I believe I have someone from my attorneys team here that during your meeting, she will be with you to cover the things that you can do and what you need to do. But I'm going to leave you with this. I'll be asking tribes throughout this country to join our court case. That's going to be my task. They'll be going to people, native people. But the religious groups can join this court case. Because whoever gets the ruling in the Ninth Circuit Court, the other is going to appeal in the Supreme Court. This is where your religion, our religion, and the religion of the Creator, of the greatest gift He gave all of us, will be standing there with us. When has there ever been a time like that? There's a reason why it happened here. There's a reason why this is going on. And like she said, it's all over the world. We are being connected from all over the world. Indigenous people who have contacted us throughout the world cannot believe the United States has turned on the indigenous people of this land. They're more frightened about what's going to happen to them. Because if America can continue to do what they're doing to us, they have no belief in America. Can you imagine where that's going to go? How much that's going to change? I think today ends the day of keeping the truth hidden. It's going to be up to you to carry that forward. But you have every one of us here to be with you on this journey. And the point of today was to share with you the difficulties we go through. But if you join with us and we protect God's greatest gift, and that's all I'm doing. And that's what I get criticized for. And that's what I get hated for. But it's okay. Because if anything's going to take my life, I'd rather die for God in this way. And that's how we should all be. The suffering of that should be over. We're in this moment. We're in this time. It's a new beginning. God will bless us with these new beginnings. He's already did so many times throughout your Bible that tells the story. But there's a moment happening now. I look at all of you. There was only 4 people when we started. Can you imagine what you could all do? And that's why I like to end with what John said. Using your voice, using your gift that God gave you to protect what He has given us. Then we know who God is. And that's what's important. So, all of you being a witness that, and I'm going to tell Carol again, because she knows all of you, or most of you, some of you, but you're here. You're connected one way or another. If she takes this basket, that means we're all in this together. That now the hoop, Balasea, is going to heal. And I feel for the people who are not here, even in your side, because so many people cried for this day. And a lot of them are not here to witness what's happening today. But we're here. So don't forget them, because they laid this groundwork for each and every one of us that are here right now. And those before us. And I'll end with my mother saying to me, son, they were supposed to wipe us clean from the face of the earth for their greed. But there were those people who argued that this was wrong. That's why they only killed 90% of us in this country. 90% of us were killed. Only 10% lived. I mean, you talk about a tragic story. An African man from Africa told me he had all these white people, tourism that he ran, had all these white people come in from America, and they read this whole big sign about what happened in Africa. And they said, "Oh, we're so sorry for your people, what you guys gone through." So the African man told me, he turned to them and said, "Well, there's a worse story somewhere else, not here." And he said, the people from America said, "Where?" He said, "In America. 90% of them people were wiped out." I said, "What did they say?" They didn't say anything. He said, "But you could see they took the truth hard because they live in a world that's not real." So we live in a world that has misguided us in a time of the way this government is. It's going crazy, you all know it. There's no feeling, nothing. But if we insert that power to them, then that's the way they're going to be. We're a part of that. But once we start standing up, and here, Oak Flats, this place represents all of you in this religious battle. All of you. I don't know where else that you can find it. And not only that, the Apaches have opened a door to you. And I don't know where you would find that either, because there's a lot of mistrust. So you're all are blessed. So again, Carol, the same thing I put out. To close the circle. We can close it. If the time's not ready, then you're all not ready. But if you're ready, then when my grandson hands you the basket, take it and turn in the circle. So, now we can roar at the tiger and lion. So again, we're not over. We're going to come in and sing one last song. And those are in the circle. We're going to go back out. And then I think we're close to lunch. And then you guys will take over. We'll be here and support in every which way. We're not leaving you. But this part of what was to be done today has been completed. And, you know, like Amy said, you know, you don't intend to cry, but I know my mother. Is very happy, and I know it's okay that I walk her life. Singers. You can all dance in one place. And like Vanessa said, if you have an instrument, please come up and join us. Come up and join us. Even if you want to just hum the song, come up.